So now, Bruno, what's your advice? Now, some of the people watching tonight are brand new. Some have properties. The question is, how should their structure look?
Absolutely. So the people in the room that already have properties, don't stress. The approach that I normally recommend is don't worry about the past right now. Fix the structure going forward. So stop stressing, stop worrying about any potential cost to fix structures. That's not today's problem. That's tomorrow's problem, right? Just make sure that today your structure looks right. Again, property investors, chances are you're on this webinar because you're going to buy more properties. And because you're going to buy more properties, you need to make sure that you fix yourself going forward and leave the past for now. So everyone that's listening right now is in the same boat. Forget the mistakes. Let's move forward together and let's figure out how we're going to fix this, right? Now, when buying property, as with any business, this is not a rule just on property. This is a business fundamental. As a business person, as an entrepreneur, you've got a couple of things that you always consider, and there's 4 pillars, 3 of which are very commercially related. That's asset protection, tax efficiency, financing optimization, and legacy planning. Now, the legacy planning is the personal thing. It's about leaving it to your kids. It's why you want to make the money. It's for your family, and you want to leave it to the next generation, right? The other 3 principles are how you actually run a successful business from a legal and tax perspective. Now, I don't need to spend a huge amount of time on this today because next week, Friday, 31st, I'm going to be going into detail on each one of these. But just a very high level view, think about it from this perspective. You buy into a property, you want to develop it, things go wrong, it's in your personal name. What happens next? You get sued. In your personal name, you get sued, which means not only is that property at risk, but now everything you've worked for now sits at risk. Asset protection is making sure that you put the property and the business and the development into the right vehicle so that if something does go wrong, you're safe. And your business is safe from you, and your businesses are safe from each other. Tax efficiency, what I just discussed now, is just that one component of tax efficiency. There's more. You need to look at what companies pay as tax rates versus what you'd pay in your personal name, what a trust would pay. If there's little tricks, so I introduce a little, I wouldn't call it a trick because it's totally legitimate and it's in the legislation. But imagine being able to utilize the money for what you wanted without having to pay any tax at all, and totally legitimately, provided that you comply with the rules, you could actually avoid paying tax on certain amounts of money. I mean, how great would that be? Short term, not having to pay tax on certain income. That's a big plus. At this moment, everyone's paying tax every time they receive rental into their pocket. So that's a huge, huge, huge one. Financing optimization, Andrew, you know how important this is. It doesn't help having the greatest tax structure, the greatest asset protection, but no properties. Why? Because you can't afford to buy a property because you don't have enough cash. Maybe you got enough for a deposit, but that's not enough. You actually need to buy properties. You need to buy multiple properties. Financing. And we know so well that buying in your personal name, imagine it like a cup. And as you buy a property and buy another property, this cup gets full. And this is how the bank looks at you. You approach the bank with a full cup. The bank's going to say, no, sorry, I can't actually give you more money. Your cup is full. So what do we do? Financing optimization. We get you to apply for finance through entities. And those cups are not full. And you're able to control how you fill them up gradually. So that's the financing part. And obviously the legacy planning. Man, you want your kids to live well. That's why you do it. And yeah, and that's why we do it.